Welcome to the Jaron Jarvis channel. I am Jaron Jarvis. Today, I would like to introduce to you, the evacuation protocol 2. The blood is roaring in my ears, my eyes are trained to what is before me as I run, jumping over jutting rocks. I have stumbled twice but luckily I was able to keep moving. I think I hear someone shout something but I can't stop. I'm in the flight mode. Run, run, run. I'm running, saving myself. I'll only stop when my mind thinks it's safe. Someone grabs my hoodie from behind. I struggle to pry free but instead I fall hitting the back of my head. When I look up, I face a tall boy. He stares at me a while before pointing uphill a little further away. I turn around to see the group has stopped. My head is now throbbing. Sorry, Helen had to send someone after you, Leon says after we ascend to catch up with the group. We seem to be safe, they aren't following us, they just fired a few lucky shots, but they know we are headed for Donna, the Russian lady complains. I'm amazed that she's actually here. Never would have pictured her as a running type. Then again, a difficult life morphs anyone into anything. I'm still trying to catch my breath. We seem to be less than 30 or so. Exactly, that's why we can only get into Donna after sundown, Leon says. There's a collective mumble of complaints. In the meantime, we have to forge crude weapons to fight our way through the entrance. That's bullshit, a man snickers. How is that supposed to stop the bullets? Several people nod in agreement and instead slump on the ground to catch their breath. I feel a pain in my upper arm. I look to see a patch of the pink material soaked in blood. The tall boy pats my shoulder and points out the wound, and without asking he pulls my good arm, half dragging me. I'm too tired to yell. Sorry, that's my brother Simon, another boy says, prying the hand that has me in an iron grip. He's mute and deaf but he's faster than a cheetah. Jeff, my brother, is Petronilla. We all call him Pet, he says once he has nursed my wound and puts a makeshift cast tied with the half-bottom parts of my pants which he tore. Helen, thank you. Jeff signals Pet and then he turns to me. We need to make weapons like the big boss commanded. I can't help but notice heavy sarcasm embedded in the statement. I wonder what caused that, but I figure that I'm being paranoid because of whatever just happened a few minutes ago. I'm hungry, sore and tired, but so is everyone else. The difference will be having to kill a few officers, guards, then we can have some sort of relief from all this. No one is really worried about the virus or the quarantine. It's 7 p.m. The sun has finally set. We are now near the welcome billboard near the north end. The multicolored bulb lights shine unaware of our misery. Welcome to Donna, it reads. The green city in the sun, is the catchphrase. It's all too ironic now. We all decided to get in through North End since this is the industrial part of the city, which means less suspicion. It's much better to hide in and it's only a kilometer from the city center. This is not a good idea, someone announces from somewhere behind. Nothing is a good idea, lad, someone else blurts. We should be dead. We all laugh. It's a short, mirthless sound. It reminds us that we really are just buying time. If those soldiers find us, we will soon be dead too. Holding this crude spear doesn't give me any hope or security. It's merely a projection of my own hollow existence. A constant reminder that I'm no better than everyone here. We are all misfits. There's a loud guttural sound. It sounds like it's coming from a distance. Everyone stops. We are walking along the highway on the edge of the woods. What was that? It's a ghoul. Ghoul. It's the name I heard someone use to refer the infected people at the emergency hall. We need to go find a safe place, Leon says. Thing is, we are walking on the opposite side that separates the woods from civilization. In between is a 4-lane road and the street lights are shining brightly. It's basically a spotlight. It's more dangerous to be seen by the enemy rather than to see the enemy. So we continue walking in the safety of shadowy woods. We hear the sound again. It's clearer now. Closer. No one move. Leon hisses. Oh yeah, me boy, it's Jeff. Leon turns and shoots Jeff an acid look. Sorry kid, but you'll have to save the fight for when we are safe and alive on the other side. In the opposite distance, the ghoul appears. Standing directly below a lamppost, I can make out its features. For the first time I'm scared at the prospects of having to go into a battle with this pale monster. It resembles a human more than an animal, bipedalism being an outstanding factor. Its skin is too reflective like scales, yet it is smooth like a human's. It stands upright and sniffs deeply into the air. I remember all the animal channels Martha made us watch. We all stand still watching its every move. It begins to move along the highway away from us, still sniffing. It then turns slowly, and for a moment I think it looks directly at me. Did I move? Of course I didn't. It crosses the first two northbound lanes out of town, albeit slowly. It sniffs deeply. Anyone have a cut or injuries? Leon asks. His eyes search the group until they rest on my cast and loosely tied bandage. I swallow. Helen, listen to me. I want you to run for your life. The ghoul is slow. I want you to keep going until you know you are safe. I bob my head severally. It's every man for himself. Yes. Leon looks around and points at Jeff. I want you to go with her and have each other's backs. Jeff scrunches his nose slightly. I'm doing it not because you asked me. I watch the ghoul speed walk toward the shadows. Toward us. Now. Jeff shouts. Adrenaline pumps in my veins and I prepare to make my second run of the day. Several buildings are lit. I'm hungry and I want my luck to land on me getting into one of the food factories. Maybe I can worry about that later. I breathe in and clench my fists in anticipation. I still have my arrow. 1, 2. The ghoul begins to cross the other two lanes. I watch its eyes. They are now glowing as it approaches the darker side of the road. 3. I sprint. I run away and Jeff and his brother follow suit. The ghoul must be in hot pursuit after us because I hear the growling behind me. My heart is beating so fast. What would happen if it caught up with me? Is this how the infection spreads? Am I already infected? My mind is in overdrive. Jeff stops at an intersection. The ghoul is struggling to keep up a safe distance away, but its weight seems to be a limitation. I hear the frogs croaking in a nearby pond. There's a soothing sound if I had ever thought frogs were soothing. I come to a halt beside Jeff and Pet. The entire road, Waterford Road, is strewn with bodies. There's only 2 working lampposts and they are very dim. Pet pokes my shoulder and points behind us. The ghoul is gaining in on us. Jeff, I think we better find a spot to hide, I say. We run on the sidewalk and through a large hole cut in a chain-link fence into a Cabela's compound. Great. Just great. We landed in the commercial section of the industrial area. The front door is locked, obviously, but there's a broken window next to it. We get in. We are in the assembling section. We move till we are at the reception on the opposite side, making sure we lock the doors behind us. There must be a gun in here somewhere. Jeff rummages through the offices. Each time he emerges with some sort of weapon. A blade, a hammer, a bottle opener, then a toolbox full of wrenches. A gun. Finally, a fully loaded gun. Aha! He cocks the gun and points toward the locked doors. We crouch behind the round mahogany desk for a little too long. Hey, don't you think it should have found us by now? The waiting is getting on my nerves. I clutch the wrench even tighter. As if on cue, there's the sound of shattering glass and a loud crash. The front door has been broken. The alarm system is active, sending a loud siren blaring throughout the entire building. Show yourselves. A voice announces once the alarm has quietened. I feel my stomach drop 20 floors. I become instantly aware of my thirst. I'm parched. I could really use a drink. They found us. They found us. After all we had been through, show yourselves, we know you're here. The voice gives me chills. The mental image of my body being added into one of the rotting corpses on the road behind the building is too vivid. I want to throw up, but my stomach is empty. Show yourselves or else. I want to stand up and surrender, I really do. You know, save Jeff and Pet for accepting the risk of following me. Me and my blood that attracted a ghoul. Beside me, Jeff is still clutching the gun. Pet has a sledgehammer. I almost laugh at my pitiful pipe wrench. 1. The voice echoes into the empty reception. Lady, go. The voice orders. I close my eyes. When I open them, I see a ghoul crouching a little further from me. The same ghoul we were running from earlier. I hold my breath unconsciously. The ghoul, upon noticing this, grins even wider, exposing 2 rows of thin sharp teeth. Jeff points the gun to its face. I don't recommend doing that, the voice warns. Its owner finally appears. A man of short stature, shorter than me. It would only be fair to call him a dwarf. The ghoul shoots out a tongue and Jeff's gun disappears. I'm frozen in fear. Lady T's, the dwarf man smirks. The ghoul approaches. I see it for what it is. No single strand of hair in its body. The fingers have long curvy nails like the talons of an eagle. There are no ears, its eyes are just empty like an abyss. It crouches slowly and then turns its head around like an owl without any effort. I let out a blood-curdling scream, holding on to Jeff. That seems to encourage it. It continues with its tease. Lets out a shrill sound and then grins. If I were younger, I'd probably pee my pants. Pet shoots up and lands the sledgehammer on the ghoul's head in a bewilderment. The gooey fluid splatters everywhere. With his anger spent, Pet slumps on the ground again. Bravo, bravo, the dwarf man claps and laughs, exposing his metallic-coated teeth. The ghoul is not dead. It rises slowly, the wound on its head patching up, and instead shifts its focus from me to Petronilla. The eyes give away slight reddish glow, but they otherwise remain black and soulless. It lunges at Pet with a feral growl. I stare at Pet's headless body for what seems like eternity. You'll pay for this. Jeff warns, but his voice cracks and he lets out a wail. Why? Jeff screams as he scrambles to stand upright and approaches the dwarf and the ghoul. Why? The ghoul grabs Jeff as if he's a weightless ball and throws him to the parting glass door that separates the offices from the reception. Jeff bounces off and lays very still. The ghoul moves toward Jeff and yanks out his arm with its mouth in one bite. Lady, halt. The dwarf commands. The ghoul's lipless mouth is dripping with fresh blood, drops Jeff's arm. A chunk of flesh hangs and clothing is loosely lodged between its teeth as it growls. It moves away and stands beside the dwarf. Because it's always fun to kill intruders. The dwarf approaches me with a gun in hand. It would have been comical in another instant, how his hands made the gun look really huge, but not with Jeff crying over his brother's headless body. Not with Pet's body propped on the white pull-out drawers and finally sliding toward me and drenching my shoulder. Jeff trying to put his brother's head back on his neck. Jeff now half dead, a far distance behind the ghoul. I hoped he'd at least survived the amputation. The dwarf stands over me. Whatever gods you believed in, kid, it's time to ask him for a better place than this hell that has been placed upon us. I close my eyes and hope my body isn't added to the rotting pile on the road. I'd rather be thrown into the pond. A numbness washes over me.